Here's some threats, and they are real threats. This Pastor Paul makes real threats to the church. He says, here are some implications, some threatening implications, these horrible, dire results if you keep going down the path that you're going down. He says, if they return, look at verse 1, stand firm and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery. So for the Gentile who is never a Jew, he's saying, don't go back to another law code, right? You tried to obey Artemis to be saved and sacrifice to Artemis and be saved. Now you're trying to submit to all of Moses' regulations. Don't go back to that works-based, obedience-based way of trying to reach God. Don't do it. To the Jew, or maybe the proselyte Gentile who had become kind of Jewish, he's saying, if you're going back to Moses' law codes like you were raised up and before you heard the gospel of Jesus and received freedom from it, for us, I doubt that many of us at least grew up traditional Judaistic and under the rabbinic teachings and all of that. Much more likely you either grew up kind of anti-religion and atheist, and your dad's religion on Sundays was the pokies and the gambling table, and his communion wine was Forex, or maybe you had a spiritual mum, and she heard Jesus was just one of many other kind of Buddha and Islam and all of these, and with indigenous spirituality, who knows where you're at. You're either pagan in that sense, or over on this side, you kind of grew up Christian, semi-Christian, Catholic school. Maybe you grew up Catholic. Maybe you grew up in and out of other Protestant churches, but not knowing where you stood with God. Or maybe you've grown up Christian, you put your faith in Christ at a young age, wherever we're at. Us, 21st century Gentiles, are just as likely to fall into the Galatian era as the Galatians were, because we're not better than them. We haven't evolved further than them. We're the same. We are the same. So for all of us, you may not return to Judaism, but we all have the ability to return to a kind of spiritual slavery, or at least what Gentile Christians can do is seek out Judaistic slavery. They can seek out this cool cultic teaching online and submit themselves to this Hebrew Israelite, legalistic or Seventh-day Adventist kind of revival of Moses' law, which is in fact not sound. So here's the threats. If you return or seek out the law code, then you are submitting yourself to slavery. And we see this in verse 1. Do not submit again yourselves to a yoke of slavery.